score. And the Sparta chant coming out. Well, we haven't got, unfortunately, a Pantheon here in England. Trying to match out what the French crowd could do. Anything the French can do, the English can do better.
Hasn't worked so well though for the English crowd. That wasn't the best.
Well, that's because Chips and Noir normally are the ones that are orchestrating it, and Riot commentators won't do that.
I mean, I was going to say, normally being in England, we'd get a rousing rendition of Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, but all of those chariots got abandoned when England went out of the group stages in the Rugby World Cup. So I mean,
all right, Welsh boy, South Africa beat you.
Yeah, I was going to say I had to get one out at some point. I don't get too much of an opportunity to say that, but. Yeah, somewhere along the
Had much of a chat with Quick Shot recently?
Oh yeah, I'm never going to live that down. Our broadcast partner, colleague in Berlin is South African, and he won't let me forget about that.
So, on to the game. Hojin doing the can for us, just to match out there and using the KOO Tiger's flare. But Krug's going to get started off. Invade coming out from Prey and Gorilla. They're going straight in. They want to get on towards the Krugs. You can see that Arrow and Peekaboo have got. They got one down, but they interrupted on the big one, which is the main part. That's going to be the experience lost out. Now, they're also going to beat them to lane as well, which is actually going to give KOO the early advantage in that lane phase.
So again, another 2 versus 2. This is something that is continually happening in this game.
Good catch on Peekaboo. Very good taunt there straight away. Actually, yeah, Prey, you could help out your AD carry, your support. He did just land a great skill shot.
At this point, though, this is one of these weird situations where it's actually okay to put the damage down there, but Nagne, oh, he's taking a lot from Kuro.
Twice again. Taunt. That's a real long-range one on Arrow this time. Peekaboo, he's got to be careful. He can't take too much of this damage.
So to explain this, Gorilla has Ignite, which is the ability that will deal extra damage and reduce healing coming from KT. And with this amount of trading going on to Peekaboo and Arrow early on, you force Alistair to now take heal earlier at level 2, or play very greedy if he wants his full combo for the crowd control. So what it does is it's going to burn through Peekaboo's mana pool to try and heal Arrow a little bit in this lane. They haven't yet hit level 2, so KOO are in full control down in this bottom lane.
Score. Oh, hello. Hojin going very aggressive on score here. Hojin would be much stronger in that matchup. Does instead send the Skittering Spider out. If he tanks up the red buff a little too long, it will hurt. But okay, Gorilla's going to come across the join. So an invade that's just not going to be matched here by KT. They are going to try and steal it away. Doesn't manage to get it. It's going to be Hojin that comes out on top. That's a big, big advantage gain. Straight steal on the red buff.
That was close. Close play score. It was a nice attempt, but Hojin got it for himself. And now Hojin just basically has to go back to his own jungle and get his own blue buff. And it's not really a position that Score can go into the enemy jungle right now because of the lead that KOO have down in that bottom lane. And to speak about that lead, it's actually something that is to be expected in this setup.
I'm trying to think, we really don't see jungle invades that often like that.
Not too much.
That's a full Season 2, Season 3 thing that used to happen. That was the difference between teams, the big jungle focus.
I mean, at this point, it was to do with the fact that KOO had such a lead that with the lane pushing in towards KT, the freedom was there from Hojin, and it's a play that you have to have the foresight on. Hojin looking for mid lane, I don't think he can get there. Repel was used. But it certainly all stems from this duo lane, and again, it's kind of to be expected that Arrow falls behind, because Arrow in the group stages was falling behind about 7 or 8 CS at the 10-minute mark, and that is a significant difference, especially when you take into account that Arrow is such a big part of what KT does right now. He does play for the late game, which, you know, intrinsically means he's likely to fall behind in the early game, but certainly he doesn't help himself, and the team don't seem to help him either at the start of the game.
More aggression, not really going to land their full combo on Prey there, so simply a headbutt just to distract, keep him away from CS, but didn't work out too well. And advantage still in KOO's favor early on. But Score looking to come around the side here. Now Sunday pouring a lot of good damage onto Smeb. Ground Slam once again catches him. Not going to go for the dive here just yet, though. We have seen a lot of focus on these two top laners. Back and forward. That's been the early aggression. Doesn't look like this game's going to be any different, but it will be a more sedate start, slower start. 5 minutes gone. No real aggression from either team.
Oh yeah, this is a Korean game through and through right now. Just getting them little leads in the laning phase. Slight lead for KOO in the top and bottom. Slight lead in mid lane for Nagne. Just
slightly more aggressive between these two, though. Yeah,
it is. But the funny thing about these mid laners, especially the fact they're running teleport, neither can kill each other. Not at this point. They're not going to kill each other when they get to 6 because the Lulu
Not without
ultimate,
a really big mistake being made.
Yeah, for sure. The Lulu ultimate will answer the Victor ultimate. This is a lane matchup that is just going to get to 300 CS and then join in a team fight. I wish I could make
really
that sound
hyped
exciting.
the moment.
I know. I'm trying to make that sound exciting, but unfortunately it's the realism of a Lulu Victor matchup between Nagde and Kuro. But what will be exciting is when those team fights do happen. So there's certainly a lot of mental games, mind games here, and KT finally getting score out onto the map, now getting him deep into the enemy jungle. Nothing really for him to get, though, at this situation, other than vision.
Yeah, he took the wolves away. It was actually because Hojin was spotted in the river just early on, which is what I'm assuming the cameraman was trying to show us. The in-game camera, of course, all controlled over in Los Angeles, I think it is. It's the guys. I don't know who does the camera these days. Is it still the same?
I believe
crew?
It's Claky D, former
LCS player.
Yep. JD Wu as well.
Okay, another former LCS player, yep.
Big team of observers. So
is MIA still doing it as well?
Yeah, he has been, you know, they've been playing with some new toys as well. We've started to see a little bit.
The zoom out, the extra zoom out.
That makes it look a little bit weird, though, because everything moves what seems to be slower across the screen, and it's almost as if we're watching in slow-mo, but it's just because that's how it works.
Slightly further out, yeah. I like
nice,
it.
Though. I like it.
I've been requesting it for many years, so I'm glad as soon as I leave, they bring it out. I see what they're doing. I'm on to you, Riot Games. Your sneaky little plays. But at the moment, this is a much slower affair. Score's going to be taking himself the Gromp on the respawn. Top lane is going in terms of Smeb. Obviously, you would expect that with CS. Someday did go back to base, get himself the Ember. So he's building up, obviously, towards that Sunfire Cape. Expect to see Sunday very tanky in this game. A lot of armor, a lot of magic resist. Smeb, meanwhile, will continue to go to that damage route.
Yeah, I mean, again, I hate to kind of like be the guy that's not hyping things up here, but this is such a different playstyle from Sunday, from his champion, compared to the Renekton. Renekton needs to fight in the early game to get ahead and stay ahead. On the other side of the rift this time, Sunday, Malphite, is known pretty much as the container of champions. All he does is sit in the lane against you and doesn't let you get a lead at all. He does, however, give away a lead in this game. For now, that is just Smeb kind of getting those small advantages in lane against Someday, but he will become a very explosive part of KT Rolster's team composition. We talked about the engage potential. If you blink, you'll miss it with an unstoppable force, and then suddenly everybody's in the air and everybody dies. So those team fight startings are going to be very aggressive from KT in about 10 minutes' time. I thought I'd just put that in the end. Drive the knife in.
Just at the 18-minute mark. Go make yourself a cup of tea. We'll be back in a moment. But the bottom lane's starting to keep on pushing. This is going to be the focus, I feel. I think when action does happen, it probably will be this pairing that goes back and forward, probably with an assist of the mid laners. The fact that Kuro used his teleport to get back to mid lane tells you that they are quite happy to sit around for a little bit longer here and get themselves going. Just think that you're watching maybe a sedate game of cricket. We're not going to have rain forecast, I don't think, today, but it will be a slow approach to the ball and the bat.
I feel at home. I feel at home right now.
Well, there's two people from England that do live in Germany. It is very homely.
Yeah, very much so. It is nice to be back, even if it is for a short while. But this time, Nagde going aggressive. Shouldn't be able to kill Kuro, but Kuro did not expect this damage.
He's gone straight on aggressive, but he's going to get caught out. And that is, again, as we were mentioning, they have it in them, but it has to be a really big mistake, and it didn't happen. Hojin expecting Score to try and wrap around. And that's the burst damage that Elise has. Very strong, takes half the hit points off Score. He can't get too involved. Now we see down the bottom, Prey getting caught out. Quick headbutt on there. Pulverize available if he wants to go on towards Gorilla here. But Arrow happy to do the damage from range.
One of the real interesting things to keep track of now is now that Shen is level 6, he will be able to assist in the other lanes. With that Stand United we were talking about in the last game, we didn't see all that many players using Stand United in the early game. It could be used to snowball Smeb from the top lane, give him the shield if he looks to dive, get Shen the assist on that, and at that point, it just gives you a map-wide advantage. Someday would get put even further behind. So there are options available for KOO Tigers here in this game, but they really haven't gone for those options on a very aggressive play until much, much, much later in the game. It's KT that have been forcing a lot of the fights in the early game, and this time they haven't got the composition to do it.
Yeah. And again, we see the trades back and forward, no real damage being done though overall. Nagane happy to build towards that Athene's Holy Grail, named after a YouTuber, I should point out, Athene. Or, I don't know if you call him a YouTuber or a streamer these days. I don't know what we relate to him as, but it was one of the members that did a great deal for the community in League of Legends and raised a hell of a lot of money for charity as well in the process, which is why Riot obviously gave him that credit of having his own item in the game. There is quite a few items in there as well. We got the Total Biscuit, a English reference to obviously one of the biggest English exports in YouTube gaming is obviously Total Biscuit. Wish him all the best with his health as well. Obviously he got big problems, so certainly hope he can recover from his ailments. But at the moment, this matchup here in League of Legends, the quarterfinals, live in Wembley Arena in London, is very much all square as the farming session continues.
It does continue for a while. It's and I would echo the sentiments of the previous discussion there, as well as you know, massive personality in the YouTube gaming community as well, and certainly somebody I've enjoyed spending what little time around I have.
Hello.
But Nagne,
he's dead. He is dead. No way he's going to be able to get out of that one. Prey will be the one that picks it up. That was just a lapse of judgment, and maybe a lapse for us as 12, because 12 minutes in, finally we see a bit of action, and it just took the bottom pair in. We knew they were getting involved, but that was a point-blank arrow, and actually very well played. It forced KOO did a little bit of aggression, which forced Nagane to step back into the arrow. Very well read.
Yeah, very well read. And honestly, that is what these two teams are doing, is this very slow, very methodical feeling out process in the beginning of the game. I mentioned this in game one. Just looking for those little weaknesses, ever so slight windows that allows KOO to make a play like that. Gets a very short-range arrow, manages to catch out Nagne, and it's all because of the way they watched Nagne trade against KOO time and time again in the lane. You read that, he does it once more time, and it falls into the trap there. Hojin has found Someday. Doesn't look like Smeb is there in time, and that will kind of be the end of that. But now they go to engage, invade on the blue buff.
Well, don't forget the mid laner KOO here as well. So KOO Tiger's suddenly trying to quicken up the pace here, and they're going to steal away this blue buff. I'm not sure that KT can respond to this either and try and steal their own. Nagane is there with Peekaboo, but I don't think they're going to be able to quickly counter this one. Nagane has to be careful he doesn't walk straight into KOO Tigers, who are starting to come back out from that blue buff.
KOO wants to go aggressive once again. Has finished his Hexhawk Core Mark II. He's got Nagne. Score is there. That will be the deterrent enough here to force KOO back. Again, every time, just if it's not 100% in his favor, he's going to retreat back away from that engage.
Confident stuff though. KOO starting to step up just a touch as we approach the 14th minute in this game. As I say, blink and you'll miss it. I think it's, when it happens, it's just going to happen fast. It will probably be a dragon fight or a tower siege. Arrow just sending in his little ghouls to get himself a little bit of vision in towards that bush. Gorilla had just backed away. So BF Sword being picked up. Infinity Edge going to be coming out first for Prey as KT step close to the tower. And actually they may get a lot of damage done in this. Look at Rek'Sai, score just off the side, playing Protect, taking down the Grom. Gorilla's got to be careful they don't collapse on towards him. That tower goes down, Score's just going to step out. He does go in there. And actually, that's a lot. The Cocoon and the Arrow score in trouble. He's going to go down. Peekaboo comes in, gets himself a great pulverize. And I say you blink and you'll miss it. Now the action's kicking off. Peekaboo in trouble. Pops his ultimate. He gets around the side there. This is just a 4 for 3 so far. Unstoppable Force was used. I tell a lie, it's held on to. And they do step away. Nobody going down in that exchange.
And that was KOO Tigers playing brilliantly around that Unstoppable Force. The way they were moving down the river meant that they weren't stacking up, and when you stack against the Malphite all onto the same spot on the screen, that's when the Malphite ultimate really hurts, when he can hit multiple people with it. It's only a very small area that he will hit, but if you stand on top of each other, you will lose that team fight. And KOO Tigers spread themselves out across the river and kept themselves alive and get a mid tower because of it. Just from being able to deter that Malphite ultimate, they get a big advantage in this game.
So towers back and forth, Dragon to KOO Tigers, nobody actually dying overall, but suddenly a little change, and that opens this game up a little bit. Suddenly the mid lane is not as safe a place as Nagane would wish. Blue buff does go across the KOO. They've had good control of that blue buff. Arrow's going to be the focus on this top lane. Smeb's coming around towards him, but it does get spotted out by Peekaboo. Kuro heading up there. And he's going to have the support of Gorilla to join him along with Prey. Now, that Enchanted Crystalline Arrow could be fired from very long range. It's on cooldown at the moment, but that's a danger, certainly for the likes of Arrow, who could be stood facing Smeb and suddenly have an arrow square in the face.
Oh yeah, for sure. That is not something that you really want to go up against. Very interesting. This is actually something you don't see too often. Peekaboo will get himself out of this. The Hexcore Mark III has been picked up by Kuro. I believe it's Mark III on red. That's why it feels so weird to see it, because you very rarely see it this early. He's upgraded multiple abilities at this point.
That's thousands invested in that.
Yeah, typically you'll see a Victor go for the cooldown reduction boots because it allows you to wave clear very effectively. They haven't had a problem with a wave clear, and basically the reason you don't upgrade it this early on in the game and go for other items is the actual effectiveness of what it gives you is very, very small, because it's the gravity field on the ground that gets upgraded and the ultimate. All it does is give a little bit more crowd control and a little bit extra speed on the ultimate. It's very, very rare that it's picked up this early. Normally you'll just itemize everything else when it comes to your damage. You'll look for a big, big AP item, but Nagne feels, or Kuro feels like he needs it this game.
We'll see if it works out. As you mentioned, maybe they're expecting a big team fight to be coming soon, trying to catch them down. And certainly if K2 are going to fight like that, they will, in essence, with their wombo combo, be grouped up like that. They will be lumped into one spot. So actually that gravity well would be pretty good.
It
Just
would be.
pull them all into the center.
Very, very small, kind of almost like Shockwave, almost.
Yeah,
no,
like
no
a
damage.
mini Shockwave.
No
Yeah.
damage, just a little bit of extra crowd control that goes into the team fight. But I think one of the interesting things in this matchup between these two teams is just how little KT have prioritized Dragon. KT much more focused on towers like this. KT the only team that went into the bracket stage of the quarterfinals that actually gave up more dragons than they secured. They only ever secured 12 and gave up 13 in the group stages, which is a bit of a surprise when you think that the Korean teams typically put a lot of focus on that dragon. You can see the first one of the game did go over to KOO. Second one isn't yet available. I wonder whether KT will prioritize it on this fight.
And tower you see traded. The top one forced down, and KT forcing KOO to respond and protect that top turret. So the counterplay comes out from KOO as they sweep out and clear the wards, clear the vision. They know the blue buff is up. They had the time on it because Kuro took it previously. And that's what they're looking to do again here. Score, though, is nearby with Peekaboo. I think KT not going to give this one up quite so easily. KOO have to be very careful. They've got Arrow coming around the side with Peekaboo. Hojin is there as well. Hojin kind of caught off the side, as is Smeb. They're going to go aggressive. Now Score tries to catch on towards him, gets the knock up on Smeb. Smeb forced away. Stand United comes out. That will be Gorilla joining the fight. And while this is all being traded back and forward, I have no idea who got the blue. An unstoppable force catches on 4. The pulverized catches on 3. And suddenly, just like that, KOO are in trouble. Prey's going to get caught out. And that is the danger. That is the wombo combo. And Smeb is going to fall. And KT Rolster land the perfect combo at the perfect time in the perfect place. And KOO are on the back foot.
And it's all to do with the area. KOO are running back through very small enclosed spaces through the jungle. And it's an easy, easy team fight for KT to look for in that situation. You're going to hit those ultimates time after time. I mean, flashes were even used in that team fight. 4 flashes in one team fight, and KOO still lost it. They still couldn't stay alive after using pretty much all of their summoner spells, and that is a big win for KT. I mean, KOO used so much here. They used the Ash Arrow.
Look at that grouping.
Yeah,
Oh,
at this
someday.
point, Kalista
It's a dream.
is already holding Peekaboo at this point, so there's a lot here to throw Peekaboo in, flash into the pulverize on the back line for KOO. And this is just easy cleanup. There's nothing that KOO can do to stop this from this point.
And it's just beautiful to watch. A 4-man pulverize. Everyone's happy with that as a support player. It's beautiful. But yeah, the flash unstoppable force was the real big deal from Someday. That obviously slowed things down considerably. And that's the problem. KOO literally they were in a choke point situation where they all had to pass through there. And they did it at once, and they've got to be careful they don't do that again. They could have just gone upriver, but that would have gifted the middle turret. But instead, they lose a lot. Now, Dragon up in 30 seconds. Now, a lot of those ultimate cooldowns will be back. They should be clearing in a moment. Someday, even will be available. Smith started to do a lot of damage to him in this one-on-one trade. starting to get the better of him. Smeb wants to just take this turret down without someday. Yeah, and he realizes it. He has to back away. Now actually away from this tower.
Rek'Sai's here though.
Smeb's going to go in. Rek'Sai is in, but I don't think Smeb cares. I think he's going to continue chasing. He realizes now he's in a real tricky spot. He's got 3 people surrounding him. He has to back to his own base.
The minions got the turret as well, though. But look at the bottom side. KOO looking for the dragon again. KT not prioritizing the dragon. It is surprising that, you know, the Korean team giving away the dragon so much. Not so much when you look at the group stages we talked about, but look at the number overlap they have. Peekaboo's dead.
What?
He's gone.
Don't know why he went back in for the pulverize. Oh, an arrow gets caught out as well.
Great
Pulls
knockout.
Peekaboo back up. Gets the 3-man knockup. Now the rest of the team have come in to support it. Peekaboo will go down. That stun is not going to land in time. Someday, though, could turn around. Unstoppable Force was used, remember. He's not going to be able to escape this one. He's got no support, really. Nagane does come around, gives him a little speed boost. And that Glitterland's catching beautifully on KOO there to slow them all down.
Yeah, that whimsy speed boost plus the Glitterland slow onto the enemies is just about enough. But KOO right now, you can see they are ahead from just taking these little team fights, and it's from the fact that KT, for some reason, sent Rek'Sai to the top lane right as Dragon was about to come up. That is the biggest integrator in the world to just fight, because unlike, you know, things like a Shen, which has the ability when it's played from the top lane to have a teleport and his ultimate, Rek'Sai, it's a one-way trip. You don't have any kind of teleport to bring yourself back, so KOO just go for the fight here. And you can see, look at the overlap already for KOO. It's 4 versus 2, and it's only now the rest of KT joining in. So they get routed out of this fight already. Arrow gets annihilated, and in a single damage composition, from here, KT have nothing else to offer in this fight. Nothing other than their backs.
There was no way they were going to get out of there. So, after a great little wombo combo fight from KT, KOO straight back into it. Hit themselves that easy double and the dragon. So 2 dragons for them now. Obviously kills them that lead. And those dragon buffs, they will keep stacking, and if KT can't afford to ignore them too much longer. So, what will KT do to respond? They're looking like they're going to be grouping in the middle, so they're going to try and put some pressure towards this top turret. Score coming around the back, actually. Kuro a little out of position here. I think Kuro's going to get swarmed on. Yes, he is. He's in trouble. He's going to get caught out. Doesn't get onto Score. Score not going to get the knock-up, so Kuro should be able to get out. Peekaboo's coming in. He could land the combo, but you see that enchanted crystalline arrow flashing past. They read the situation. Good escape from KOO, actually.
Yeah, it is a good escape from Kuro, but you can see how little damage he had.
Look at that. That's nice. That's literally StarCraft mentality. So what's going on at the top? Don't care. Make something happen down the bottom.
Yeah, drops in the base, pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh, Medivacs. At this point, though, you can see the lack of damage that Kuro had. And that is because he hasn't prioritized a full AP build right now. He does have a Morellonomicon and does have that Hex Core upgraded, but he doesn't have the likes of Rabadons or Zhonya's, you know, those big AP items that allow you to just hit the enemy with a huge spell. And there's a little magic resist onto Score, so there is a bit of this balance, you know, the seesaw effect of itemization, but Peekaboo's going to try and cause a nuisance of himself against Smeb, but it isn't really too much.
Almost got it.
Almost.
Worth.
I think a really interesting factor in this series that really we weren't expecting when you look at the group stage games is how little freedom Prey has had in the bottom lane. Typically Prey, as the carry for KOO, has been doing an insane job at getting himself ahead at 10 and 20 minutes. He has been the top ranked AD carry for his CS difference. That's how much CS you have over your opponent at that 10 and 20 minute mark, and that's basically the metric of being ahead. Prey has been behind at 20 minutes. He has been able to just about get himself a lead. But Arrow was ranked 13th at 20, and Arrow has had so much more freedom in this matchup. Kalista into Arrow, into Ashe. I'm just surprised that KOO haven't been able to buy Prey any more time here.
Arrow being a little bit aggressive in that middle. Getting a quick shot onto Hojin, but he just strolls off. Not a lot of vision, actually, in this top half. Both kind of sort of protecting themselves, effectively. Blue buff, which did start off the big wombo combo that KT landed early on, is going to get picked up by once. Nagane will have that one away, unless they mess up the combo, which they do not. They tried to turn straight into, look at that, Kuro trying to sneak in and get the steal on it. So they had that timing perfectly down again. This time, not quite the right place.
Not quite the right place at all. It's A little off the mark on that one, but KOO, they are in the lead. So it's a slight lead for KOO, but in these games it is so incredibly tense. We're going to be drawn into a dragon fight in about 1:30. Smeb's down there because Someday can't hold him anymore. Yeah, there's only so long you can contain this.
We'll see whether it continues to contain it, because this is going to open up an opportunity for this middle turret, which is what KOO are building towards. But with Kuro off in the top lane, it's only a simple distraction. So KOO trying to push every lane. Not really a tactic that works that well, that often, unless you are considerably far ahead, which they are not by any stretch of the imagination. And Smeb has got to be careful he doesn't get surrounded here. They're collapsing towards him. Look at Peekaboo. Peekaboo heading down the river. Now, Dragon is up in 40 seconds. They still don't really know where he is at the moment. He's about to pass a ward though. There's the ping down. But he should be able to escape alive.
Yeah, they recognize he's got his flash, has dash available with the lunge from Fiora. So, again, it's a situation where Smeb is playing risky.
They're going for him.
He's playing risky here, but he knows he's playing within the boundaries of what is okay for himself right now, because he knows that if KT put that much into dealing with him, that the fight that follows from KOO with 3 threats, or I guess 2 at that point.
They could also get the Baron if they invest too much.
Yeah, for sure. It just means that if KT throw that much, KOO can take just the next fight that goes from it. If KT use that many abilities, it makes just a very tough situation for KT to do anything in. Third dragon of the game is coming up. KT, are they going to fight for 1-for-1s? It looks like it. They're in position. They have basically everything available as well. But KOO, if they don't stack, should be able to win the team fight. Taunt didn't land.
There's the dragon going down. It's KOO that picks it up. They do not stack. Kuro caught off the side though. Hojin and Smeb coming close. Kuro is going to get punted in. Kuro the focus. But look at the damage on Arrow. The Chaos Storm ripping through them. He's just trying to hop, skip and dodge around. And it's working out well at the moment. Arrow's trying to get the damage down. Smeb's going to be the focus target. He tries to get it up on Hojin. Now the focus. But this is a very even battle right now. If Arrow goes down, they're in trouble. And it is the KOO Tigers that will come out on top.
KOO just have too much damage in these fights, regardless of how Kuro has itemized. The way that Prey was just off at the back, untouched, while Arrow had about 3 people to deal with at the backside of that team fight, makes it an almost impossible situation for KT. This is a very, very fast and convincing Baron for KOO. Smeb isn't the tankiest of champions right now on Fiora, but he does have enough. Shouldn't stand at the back, though. Smeb should come around the front. The back spikes of Baron actually do more damage than the front. So, yeah, it's fine. He gets it. It's okay.
I got this. I got this.
Just toying with it.
Yeah. Kuro a little late to the party there. Bit of a wasted teleport. Not sure it's quite required, but this is the big fight though.
Yeah, and Kuro gets ulted by Someday over the wall. I think it's like basically a max range. Oh no, just around the corner there. Kuro is already aggressed on Smeb coming in from the side, but Arrow isn't even, or Prey is pretty much not even on your screen. He's hidden behind the minimap. Nobody is next to him, and he just gets free auto attacks off again and again. Meanwhile, top side of your screen, just off is Kalista jumping around as Smeb found his way into the backline, already took out Nagne, and this is fine for KOO because of how healthy Prey is right now. All he's going to do, come in, clean everything up, and that is an easy team fight.
What we didn't see was, while that was all happening, obviously we were looking towards Arrow being focused on so heavily, but Prey was way down the river, perfect positioning, well away from any damage going towards him, and being so protected by his front line. So he was just able to just keep on basic attacking, and that's what an attack damage champion does, and that's what Prey is. That's why he's picked up the double buff, stole a lot off someone. But at 4-1-3, Prey is now a formidable AD carry that has got good protection. The one-move combo not working for KT this time.
The problem is that it's a single threat comp. And threat, when we talk about single threat or triple threat,
there's a lack of damage as well when the fight goes off. Yeah.
It refers to champions that are able to output a lot of damage in team fights. Typically, solo laners top. Oh, we'll get to that.
Little damage, Smeb. Oh, that's too deep. That's too deep, Smeb.
Not with a heal like that.
When you manage to get the heal and the pop like that, now they can turn on to Someday here. They can juggle the tower damage. Someday has to be very careful. He has to respect the potential that KOO have. They're going to continue pushing. Don't forget they're also on the top turret. Smeb continuing to just dash in and out of tower aggro. When the rest of the team keeps on pushing, that's another tier 2 turret going down. And KOO Tigers, they have a big double threat combo going on. This could be 2 inhibitor turrets falling.
Yeah, that's the difference between a champion that is a threat and a champion that's providing utility like Lulu. Someday he's going to get whittled down here.
Yeah, whittled down. He does manage to get the ultimate on towards them. Is it enough? Arrow comes around the side. Now they have to respect it. They're losing the top tower down. I think Smeb will be happy. He gets himself one kill. Can't get the second. But KT Rolster just leave their base exposed in the top. So I guess it was the best of a worst situation. Do we lose 2 or do we lose 1? They had to vote on the 1 and just pull all in on the other.
I mean, Smeb, he had his ultimate. If he'd have ulted, Someday right before Someday died, I think Smeb may have been able to get probably another kill off the heel there. Because when you use your ultimate to put the indicators on the floor, for anybody that hasn't played Fiora, normally you have to proc all 4, but if the enemy that is targeted by the ult dies, the heal appears anyway. Regardless of how many you hit, you will get the heal from that. And at that point, I think Smeb maybe could have trickily played around the team fight. It would have been a big outplay if Smeb had managed to get more than that, and probably KOO would have ended the game. I want to kind of... Yeah, he already had his ult here, so this is when he uses it on Nagne the first time. We already caught this on the broadcast, but you can see the difference in damage between Smeb and Nagne, and goodbye. Goodbye, just one hit.
And the Gorilla gets the assist as well, just of course, just for pressing Stun United once. All helps. 0-0-9 for Gorilla, yet to die on that support champion. And KT Rolster got to be so careful. KOO Tigers are in a very strong position. Prey, that enchanted crystalline arrow has been quite on point, if I'm honest. And as you mentioned, a single target, single threat, the likes of Arrow. If Arrow just strays, just a little. Oh, well, if Nagano strays. Little slide tackle there from Peekaboo, having to just headbutt him to the side. But that's such a big threat. Nagano, if he's getting chunked down that much, he's meant to be the safe guy at the back. That's a problem. Smeb went out of control in the last matchup as well. So KOO Tigers are looking very strong right now in this best of 5.
Yeah, Smeb is showing up once again. He used to really put on performances like this. This is another fight.
Uh-oh, there's the arrow. There's one kill going down, and that's the mid laner, Kuro, getting himself a kill. Skulls are going to be the next focus. Another wombo combo back and forth. Gorilla taken so low, but it doesn't die. And Smeb continues to chase. Arrow forced to get the hell out of dodge. Prey with the flash, doesn't quite land the volley. Oh, but look at the shot on 1. Catches on towards him. They take him down. The game is over. KOO Tigers lock down the KT Rolster. And wow, what a turnaround it has been. KT looked so strong in game 1, but KOO Tigers take 2 games back to back.
And it's all because KOO Tigers are not allowing KT Rolster to play their compositions out. How do you deal with a single threat composition?